We're in the bottom left-hand corner, where Alpha X's own player is spawning as the blue Protoss. He is the rising star, ZOUN.
And spawning here at the top right corner of the map. Guys, give it up for your red Terran player. From a Brave Star Gaming, it is Dream.
Not expecting anything too crazy out of this first game. Dream is one of those players who likes to proxy a lot. But here on Pillars of Gold is not gonna do that. ZOUN still gonna try to look for something odd with his first probe. But I'm expecting actually ZOUN to be the aggressor, maybe with a Stargate play in the earlier stages of the game.
Yeah, I mean,
shortly the style is preferring.
yeah, I mean, I think we kind of seen a swell of Protoss players going for the Phoenix build. Sometimes even opening with Oracle, but like going to the Phoenix and then they might go into like Charge or Mass Glaive Adepts or even Colossus. So, I mean, it's kind of like a kind of an old school if ZOUN does decide to go for that Colossus build. But we shall see. It looks like a proxy of some sort, though. I think it might be a proxy Stargate.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. The positioning of this pylon also suggests that. While Dream is not gonna have a Reaper Scout, he started off with a Marine, not gonna send any SCV through the map. Dream is completely blind about what is happening on the other side of the map. So this Marine is gonna help against any scouting. Maybe it will help just thin down the Oracle that's gonna be made from this target. But not having a Reaper, it's definitely going to hurt a little bit in this scenario.
Yeah, not even a SCV scout. Like sometimes when the Terran player decides to skip the Reaper, they will at least send the SCV across the map to get some sort of scouting. But unbeknownst to him, I mean, this works out perfectly for ZOUN.
Yeah, definitely. That's a little bit of an advantage for the Protoss player over here. Of course, he still has to deal that damage, but I don't really see Dream doing too much about it. I don't really see even the Cyclone for defensive purposes. He's just gonna have these bunker over there. He's gonna start off with a Widow Mine, but I'm not too sure the Widow Mine will stop this Oracle in time. Maybe just barely. Yeah, okay. It will be there in time, but with two Marines, I feel like this Oracle can still deal quite a lot of damage. Let's see how he approaches. Oracle is getting into the base of Dream. He's gonna focus down the two Marines and then get straight up into the SCVs. Gonna get a couple, oh, even just one, before flying out. That's some good scouting information. He's gonna see there's a lot of Marines being produced. So we will see how we will approach to the later stages of the game. We see a Twilight Council. And actually, is this a full wall-off from ZOUN?
Yeah, it looks like a full wall off, and there's also a full wall off for Dream. He did scout the Adepts making his way across the map, so a really smart decision there by Dream to just wall off and make sure that he at least deals with the Oracle before dealing with the Adepts.
Okay, it looks like ZOUN has cancelled one of his gateways to make a way for the probe to start the third. And it looks like ZOUN is not really too scared about what is about to hit him. Blink is gonna get started as well, while the Oracle is still kind of threatening Dreams in those lines. It was gonna sit a couple Marines here in the natural, while not really having anything to defend the main, but it's ready to drop out. Medivac about to load up. And Steam is about to get, well, it just started, actually, as well. The players are kind of, whoa, that's a good revelation.
Yeah, and that Widowmine is nicely hidden too. Almost kinda got the connection on that Oracle too.
Yeah, it would have been a little bit of a disaster. That's a stasis word coming from ZOUN just outside the boundaries of the natural of Dream. It is probably just there to scout if any SCV is moving out. I don't expect Dream to move out with his army on top of that cliff, but it's definitely going to be useful to catch the timing of any expansion. Here comes a bunch of Stalkers going through the map, maybe to get some damage, maybe to get some scouting information, but of course, maybe being able to catch these medivacs before they go out is going to be a huge boon for the Protoss player.
Oh man, if those two medevacs fly right over those stalkers, man, that's such losing your first two medevacs for that is just going to be so disheartening.
ZOUN also get that Robo Bay. It's gonna get the mid-game tech he needs. But now the Stalker's end has been showed off, so Dream is probably going to avoid those Stalkers altogether. But he's really not playing too aggressively as of now. We didn't see any medivac, we don't mind drop, sorry. And now that Steam is complete, Concussor Shell is gonna get started, but Dream isn't really looking like he wants to move out yet. Maybe feels a little bit pinned down. He's gonna move out right now, but just to defend the command center. The stasis ward is gonna get a huge amount of units actually, but the Stalkers are already getting back into ZOUN space. Now he noticed the stasis ward eating so many units, and he will actually try to get ahead and maybe get a couple free shots. His alien surely not gonna survive. There's a steam being used by Dream, but ZOUN will just back off for the time being. Maybe drop on Revelation. Yeah, here he comes. Gonna catch all of the army of Dream moving out. This is a scary army. First Colossus is about to go out, but extended thermal lens is a long way off.
Oh, some nice kind of hit off of those Marines at the backside with those stalkers. But man, the majority of the Marines and the Widow Mines are here front out in the natural. And oh my god, look at that concave.
And there's no charge yet. These Zealots are absolutely getting devastated by Dream's army, who's actually steaming in the natural. Colossus goes down. There's one robot, but the Oracle will fall down as well. This is looking rough for the Protoss player. All he has been doing as of now has been disrupted by Dream's timing attack. Probes are going down. The Stalkers cannot do too much. There's still a lot of energy on these medivacs. Units are steaming again. There's a pylon started in the natural, but it won't power that robo in time. It doesn't really look that there is enough for ZOUN. These units are not gonna cut it. Dream! It's game number 1. Well, talk about a convincing victory to start it off.
Yeah, a bit kind of in disarray with his stalkers, right? Because the stalkers were like lagging behind while the rest, half of his other army was at the natural, and the Colossus was just unprotected, and there was no force fields able to kind of force field the Bao army away. And his Colossus, his one Colossus, which is one splash damage offensive unit, was sniped out without dealing too much damage.
Yeah, those Zealots getting destroyed instantly by the Widow Mines and the Steaming Marines without having charged yet. Looking a little bit like a late charge from ZOUN. Of course, those Stalkers are supposed to buy time, as well as the Oracles, but Dream kind of didn't bother with them at all. So when he was about to attack, everything was just not in time for ZOUN, and looks like Dream has found out a really crispy timing for sniping down those Protosses who tried to get map control without getting too much back home to defend.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go ahead straight into game number 2 on Oxide LE. Let's see if ZOUN can tie up the series, get the first score on the scoreboard for himself.
Definitely a change of pace with his map. So we will see how they will approach, but being a shorter map, lots of things can happen here. And let's start by introducing the player in the bottom left hand corner. Voting as the blue Protoss, playing for Alpha X, is lagging 1 point behind in this best of 5 series. He wants to tie it up. It is ZOUN.
And spawning here at the top right corner of the map is the Red Terran from Bravestar Gaming. Give it up for Dream.
I'm actually surprised we didn't see Proxy. He likes to do that a lot on this map. I've seen him do it so often, but he's kind of maybe keeping this kind of build for the later stages of the series, maybe game 3 or game 4, if he gets to that. While ZOUN is just gonna have a standard base wall of with 780 score and gateway, not even gonna bother with the Reaper Cliff. So lots of little decisions players have to make in the early stages of the game. Looks like there's a probe scouting for ZOUN, catching anything off in a base of Dream. Nothing is gonna be too out of the book, really. So Dream is gonna start it off with a Reaper this time. Not gonna go for any aggressive Marine start for timing. He's just gonna go for scouting. It makes sense. This is a shorter map. You kind of have to scout. You kind of have to have an idea about what is going on. So Reaper is pretty much mandatory over here, and Dream is gonna look a little bit around. Maybe also a little bit scared about another proxy play from ZOUN, even though the Stargating game number one really didn't deal that much damage.
Alright, we'll see if this Reaper can get some damage done, but that will scare it away. Now, I wonder if ZOUN is going to go ahead and go for that Blink Stalker play once again. I mean, this is a map not too shabby to go for it. Although even though it didn't work out last game, I think if he can scout up ahead and make sure his army is more coordinated, he should be fine.
Yeah, it is definitely the best way to play the matchup with your Twilight Council getting started. It's safe, it gets you map control, it gets you some kind of disrupting to the start of the Terran player. So it is overall a very safe bet to just go for the Blink play. And having the Robo behind it, of course, is suggesting probably we're gonna have a Robo Bay opener with maybe Colossus X and a Thermal Lance, just the average. Oh, maybe not. That's a Dark Shrine.
Oh man,
Robo, this looks like an awful lot like an Arcane drop, and Reaper is definitely going to see that. Oh, did he click on that?
yeah, he just saw it on the edge.
Alright.
That's
That
a huge
is,
scout for
yeah.
Dream.
That is a huge scout. I doubt they will go ahead with some Dark Templars. This is probably just going to be some kind of Arcane drop. With the Warp Prism being done just now, I don't really see too many ways Dark Templars can really deal damage. I feel like Dream is going to be prepared about it. Pylon? No, not a Pylon Dream.
You see, if this was a game between two Silver League players, they might think that Dark Shrine was a pylon, but I'm pretty sure they can tell the difference. I mean, the Dark Shrine is a bit taller than the pylon during the morphing stage, so that's one way you can tell the difference.
Yeah, that's a lot of little nuding. Oh my god! What?
Wait, did I miss this? Oh no, I did miss this. Oh my apologies, guys.
Oh my god, my mind is shattered right now. Those shots were something out of this world. What? Oh, I'm so sad you guys didn't witness that, but like, Dream was so coordinated in his Widow Mines that both of them kind of just hit ZOUN as soon as he was moving his probes out. 17 probes have gone down with just 2 Widow Mines. That is crazy.
Yeah, I feel that's pretty much game-ending damage, right?
Oh, yes it is. And like, it's not like those Dark Temples are doing anything. There's a Raven over here. This Warp Prism is in real danger. Lock-on is on cooldown likely for ZOUN. Otherwise, the Warp Prism would have been gone. Oh, wait a second. Oh my god. I'm
my
so
god.
stressed right now. I'm so stressed right now for ZOUN.
Yo, that is only 1 health life. I mean, the shields are recharging, but still. Oh my god, that Widow Mine right there! Sick play! Sick play!
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's
man.
go next round. GG. Yeah, goodbye, Widow Mine. That's the first victory in the game for ZOUN. Call it a victory. You just lose a Warp Prism and 2 Dark Temples and 17 probes. And now he's gonna lose the Observer too. Oh my. Yeah.
Oh my god, if worse, I mean, things are just getting worse for ZOUN.
Yeah.
I mean, this push, I'm gonna assume is gonna do significant damage. At the very least, probably take out that 3rd base.
You know what's the army of ZOUN right now? It's 5 Stalkers.
Oh my god.
This is not going to work well for the Protoss player who's finally got back even in a workers count. He struggled a lot with it, but he had to cut so many corners to get to this stage. And his army is just absolutely non-existent. The first timing attack, which will come for Dream shortly, is just going to absolutely annihilate ZOUN right now. This has to be one of the unluckiest games I've ever seen, really. The Reaper scouting just barely the Dark Shrine. Those 2 Widow Mines just barely getting all of the probes in both shots. And then the Dark Templars kind of not doing anything and the Warp Prism dying. You could say that's just a lot of misplays, but the luck really did run out on ZOUN. Finally gets the Cyclone and the Raven. But that's really not going to be the bulk of the push that Dream is setting up. The army of ZOUN is not really growing. He has a bunch more Stalkers, he has an Immortal, but with 3 tanks, actually 4 tanks, and these many Marines, I really struggle to find a way ZOUN can actually deal with this.
Oh man, and those ledges, those rocks blocking those Stalkers and the charge block to get on top of those tanks. That's gonna be a bit difficult to get on top of.
There is one shield body overcharge could be used. The first Zealot's charge on top of everything. The Stalkers actually blink forward to get on top of the tanks, but 2 other tanks are just way too far behind. The army of ZOUN just gets wasted by Dream. That's a quick GG, and that's a match point for Dream, but this game, it's absolutely devastating for the Protoss player. He probably isn't feeling his best after that, and yeah, I challenge everybody to feel good after losing 17 probes to Widow Mine.
Even at the end, he didn't even get the 2 tanks at the front.
Yeah,
they were like red and life, and like wasn't able to get it.
Yeah. He got the Medivacs, but let's be honest, there were just way too many Marines for that army of ZOUN to really do the trick over there. So a little bit of a heartbreaking defeat for ZOUN, but let's see if he can shake it off and go ahead and get his first victory of this series, which will go a long way, into making him feel better after this.
Yeah, I mean, some way, somehow, ZOUN's gotta like wake up, like, because he is playing very, very poorly these two first games. Doesn't look like, you know, his usual, I guess, focus level. I mean, losing that many probes. I mean, it's like pretty much in the meta that these days where Terran is just going for Widow Mines after Widow Mine drops. So you gotta expect it, right? At this point, even if you don't scout it, you gotta expect some sort of Widow Mine drop at some point of the game against a Terran player.
Yeah. Dream has a lot of very aggressive build orders, so he's one of those players who's a little bit hard to predict. So like, you kind of have to play around a little bit everything. You have to play around the Widowmine drop, you have to play against the early free Rex push, you have to play around some, I don't know, Hellion drop, stuff such as that, proxy starports, and all the array of Terran's quick timing attacks. So let's get into introductions and see if ZOUN manages to do that here on Death Aura. It's game number 3. We're in the top left hand corner, where Alpha X's own player is spawning. Hailing from Korea, this is ZOUN.
And guys, he's one win away from advancing to the finals. Can he do it? Is your Red Terran from Bravestar Gaming. Give it up for Dream. Looks like a Bitterwood in the chat, hoping for ZOUN to take this next map. It would be nice to at least have him win a game, right, in the series. It seems like these days we've been having a lot of like maybe 3-0s or something. A lot of like stomps instead of any closer games.
Yeah, and it's not been really looking that great today either, with ZOUN just not playing his best against Dream. Like in this scenario, one thing he could do is just like have a straight up build in his mind, just don't stop for anything to fulfill his purpose, and he has to play very aggressively for that. Here on Death Aura, my thought should be a Stargate play, and this probe sitting here near the rocks just prompts me further into thinking it's going to be a Stargate play of some sort.
Oh, I thought that probe was just setting up campfire or something.
Yeah, it could be that too. Like, there's a huge log. There's this huge tree over here.
Yeah. I mean, it protects against the bears that comes in the night.
Yeah. The night is dark and full of Terrans.
Yeah. I like that. I like that.
Here comes the Stargate. Oh, the probe is gonna be scouted by Dream. Will go down. He's not really checking those rocks though, so looks like he's going to be okay. We will suppose ZOUN kind of knows that that Reaper didn't really go there due to the timing in which it got into his main base. But yeah, I'm actually quite surprised Dream didn't even check there. The probe was coming from that direction.
Yeah, I'm not sure why. I mean, I guess he might be thinking like the probe was like just scouting around, but I mean at that point I would just check just in case, like you said.
Yeah. He's gonna check the other rocks. He's not gonna find anything there. But the first Oracle is already being chrono boosted. There's a Widowmine starting back home for Dream, and he's really doubling down with the Marine productions. But this Oracle can be very nasty. Oh, the Alien is not gonna catch this either.
Oh, he's actually gonna wait for that second Oracle before heading across the map.
Oh, the Adepts are gonna catch this Reaper.
Oh, nice wall off there too. Like blocks the Reaper from going in deeper.
This Alien is getting one probe, so like it's not the biggest of deals, but as of now, Dream has scouted the whole base of ZOUN. He knows every nook and cranny of the base of ZOUN, and he knows there's no amount of tech whatsoever. So he knows there's something on the map right now. And the best guess, with these Adepts being Death Aura, it's probably that a Stargate play is about to happen, and that it's bound to be Oracles. Widowmine is just sitting outside of the boundaries of the main, but the Oracles are gonna go the whole other way. There are 3 Marines sitting over here, but a fresh mule is about to go down. Marines are being wasted by these Oracles, and now it's time for the SCVs. 2 are gonna fall aside from that 1 mule, and that's quite a lot of damage, to be honest. 4 kills on 1 Oracle, 1 kill on the other. Like, it's gonna slow down the first move out from Dream quite a bit.
Yeah, but I gotta say, you know, despite him not scouting it, I think he actually should be fine with it. Like, I mean, for me, I think he should have lost a bit more. But the way he microed those Marines, the weakened Marines, into the medevacs, saving them, I think that was some really nice micro play there by Dream.
Yeah, it was a really good play, and you know what's even better? Getting that one Oracle with the Viking. Oh man, that's huge for Dream. Keeping ZOUN on just one Oracle, preventing him to go for some damage again, even preventing him to move out. Just having that Viking is just way too scary for this Oracle to actually do anything. And without the recall, I really doubt ZOUN will move out with Stalkers anytime soon. Or if he does that, he's supposed to keep the Oracle somewhere on the map. He's doing that right now, but that's scary. That's very scary. Where's the Viking at, by the way?
Is it right in the between the?
Right in the main.
Yeah, right in the main.
Some revelations are going to be dropped just to see at which point ZOUN's push is at the moment. Sorry, Dream's push. He's gonna move out with just one Medivac right now, it looks like. I hope he doesn't, because that would be a disaster. He's waiting for more Medivacs. He's a little bit supply blocked right now. He's waiting for Steam, Combat Shields, all of those upgrades. This time, it looks like ZOUN is going to be a little bit more on time with his upgrades, just due to the fact he slowed down Dream a little bit, getting some SCBs, getting some Marines as well. These Stalkers are heading a dangerous path, but of course they're gonna get a couple Marines for free, actually 3, 4. Wait a second, this fight is going definitely in favor of ZOUN. He's also microing these Stalkers perfectly and getting more damage and more kills. Stalkers are gonna be in Yellow Elf, most of them at least, but he has been slowing down Dream even more.
Yeah, I feel like ZOUN is really, you know, really good with Blink Stalker micro. Even in the first game, you know, even though he lost that game, one of the highlights for him was those Stalkers, those Blink Stalkers, being able to kind of nitpick some of the Bao army in the backside. Oh,
He's
man.
fine. Ooh, wait a second. All right. Well, let's be honest. Dream is not looking too sharp right now. His army is still very strong. But this time, charge is done. There's already one Colossus out, I think? No, okay. The first Colossus is halfway through, even a little bit more. There's a full shield battery in the main. In the natural, there's a full shield battery in the third. Actually, also in the main. Like, 5 SCVs have been dying to the Adepts, and the Adepts are still not being cleared. 6, actually almost 7. And yeah, that's a lot of production in the hands of ZOUN. Charge is done, that's the most important thing. The first Colossus is out as well. And it doesn't really look like Dream can get on top of this cliff too easily. Here comes the snipe on top of one of the Medivacs. Zealots are not charging in the choke point. Even 7 SCVs have been dying for Dream right now. He's sending these full production through the map. But ZOUN looks like he's keeping up, to be honest. He's now trying to engage outside of the Widowmine's range, waiting for these Marines to step a little bit too further. Here comes the engagement. Perfect force with the Stalkers get on top of the Medivac cleanly. And this was a surgical attempt at disrupting that Terran army. Dream is not done yet, though, even though he lost so much. Oh, here comes the Dune drop into the main, but there are already 3 Colossi out. Marines are spread out, but they're all in red and yellow health. These Zealots are just gonna charge on top of everything. A couple probes are falling down in the natural to another drop of Marines, but the main army is going to be cleared. Stalkers cannot really keep up, but 8 probes have been dying to just these 3 Marines. 8, 10, even more. But these Colossus is finally gonna clear it. Widowmines spread a little bit around ZOUN's bases, and I have to be honest, ZOUN's was looking a little bit better than this turned out to be.
Yeah, but now things are unraveling here. Dream just keeping up the constant pressure, keep dropping over and over, and that forces the recall by ZOUN. This is going to be important because ZOUN will not have any more recalls left, so he's got to make sure to position his army in the correct spots to defend.
Yeah, he's being hit in the main and the third. He's right now starting a fourth, which is going to be threatened again probably by Dream. And to be honest, Dream is a little bit everywhere. He has Widow Mines placed all over the boundaries of every single base. He has drops ready to go into the main, like just happening right now, forcing some units to be warped in. He has units in, well, he has Widow Mines. Oh, the Medivac goes down with the Widow Mines, actually. Wait, yeah, that's good for ZOUN. He finally can move out, it looks. He cleaned so many Widow Mines. These Zealots are getting way too ahead of themselves, though. There's a bunch of Widow Mines ready to welcome them. And ZOUN is gonna be moving backwards. These Colossus is definitely going to follow. Maybe not. That's a huge save for ZOUN. Also getting a couple Marines for that. And it's now time for Archons. And Dream doesn't even have a Ghost Academy out. These Archons are going to be so impossibly hard to break.
Right now, even upgrades for both players, but the 2-2 is about to be finished for Dream. So if he can hold on, maybe he has a chance to defend against this. But this is a pretty scary Protoss army ball.
Yeah, he's pushing here in the third. The command center is spread, and all of these SCVs have to go back. Now they're getting into the fight, but the Archons are just gonna melt through them, as well as the Colossi. The army of ZOUN is trying to clump up behind the Widow Mines, not getting hit. But here comes the run for Dream. He's trying to get as much as possible. These Archons are just not dying. Finally, they start to fall, but the damage has already been dealt. ZOUN dealt so much damage to Dream, but the army of ZOUN is not looking too strong right now. Oracle being put into the fight with Pulsar Beam as well. The Colossi are not falling, that's the most important part. But right now they're a little bit too far away from the tanking units. Colossi are about to go down. Two of them fall, and Dream is going to get the key units. More Stalkers are heading through the map. It's time for Disruptors for ZOUN. This game is not over yet. ZOUN still outside the natural of Dream, but that surround was a sight for sore eyes. And here comes the drop into the main of ZOUN as well. Going to get a very important pylon, powering up so many structures. Finally, some units get pulled into the main for ZOUN to get this Medivac and get the remaining units.
Pretty scrappy game so far by both players. But all in all, I am liking ZOUN's position right now. He is ahead 69 to 55 workers. He's got his fourth base up and running. He's starting to add in those splash damage units. He's got the Colossus, he's got the Archons, even adding Disruptors right now. It's going to be so hard for Dream in the head-to-head fight straight up if he doesn't have anything else, because right now the majority of his army just bow infantry units, and that's not going to cut it against what ZOUN has.
As long as no ghosts hit the map right now, ZOUN is fine. Dream is not really getting into a Ghost Academy tech, and that looks like a little bit like a mistake for me. Oh, Widow Mine is gonna get quite a nice hit. But yeah, High Templars gonna go into Archons, not even needing Storm right now. He's not gonna research it either. And yeah, that's a bunch of Disruptors and Colossi. The main fight gonna start here outside of the third. These Archons are tanking so much damage. The Stalkers are just heading back. Here comes the Disruption Novas, buying more time for the Archons to go ahead. Widow Mines did a lot of job at keeping the health of these Archons low. But these Disruptors have been dealing so much damage. Goodbye, Command Center. Do drop into the main of ZOUN. He's gonna get a lot of damage as well. This looks a lot like a whole base trade, but you know how it goes. Recall is going to be available in probably 20 to 30 seconds, and ZOUN can just send his army back if he feels like he needs to. He wants to deal the damage first. Disruptors are gonna destroy that clump of SCVs if he gets to that, and another command center falls down. Dream, on the other side of the map, is gonna dodge a couple Disruption Novas by loading up into the Medivac spec again. He's warping units back home, but Dream is losing everything on the map right now. 21 SCVs have been going down. It looks like ZOUN slowly but steadily is cleaning some of the units in his own pace. Disruption Nova is gonna get a bunch of units, and ZOUN is heading back right now. One of these Disruptors is in real danger. Colossi are gonna get into the action to stop some of this bio army, to deal damage. Meanwhile, in the natural of ZOUN, probes are still falling. This army is not cleared yet. It's mostly marauders, so this Oracle will slowly finish down. But the economy of ZOUN is kind of destroyed right now. There's the war prism going back home, but so many buildings are unpowered for ZOUN. The main army needs to be issued into that. Another Nexus falls down, and Dream will just load out. Get away from that. Losing so many key structures as well. Losing the Temple Archives mostly, and a bunch of gateways, empowering all of these structures. I think the cybernetic score died. No, okay, cybernetic score is alive. But yeah, it looks like ZOUN really doesn't have a way to spend his minerals, and that's not great.
Yeah, I mean, you can spend on probably a bunch of charge lot, but he's desperately needing some gas right now. I like that he's adding a Dark Shrine. He is low on gas, but adding that Dark Shrine is going to force a Dream to waste those scans energy instead of on mules. And in the low econ game, he's probably wants the energy for the mules instead.
Yeah, it's also going to stop a lot of like dropping shenanigans from Dream. Just a couple Dark Templars go a long way into stopping a Terran from actually doing damage, but right now that Shrine is not done yet. He's done right now, but this pylon, such an important pylon, is going to be killed as well as the Nexus. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, ZOUN still is building a lot of stuff. His army is still strong and going, but Dream is just up producing him right now. 10 Marines at a time, while ZOUN is struggling to keep up with everything. Robo goes down. The Robo Bay is next on the list for Dream, and the main and the natural of the Protoss players have been completely set right now. Zealots are getting into action to try and stop this push once more, but Dream has been doing such a huge job at keeping ZOUN busy. But right now, ZOUN is moving out himself. He's ready to deal some damage of his own. He wants to stop Dream from being so obnoxiously aggressive on his side of the map. He wants to do something himself. There's a bunch of Winnow Mines. It's as if he's transferring right now. That's not a good spot to find themselves in. Zealots charging on top of them. Winnow Mines are gonna get huge shots on everything actually. ZOUN is still struggling back home. He cannot reproduce his army. And right now, ZOUN is heading on top of the cliff in the main of Dream. These units are all clumped up, but they're still dealing so much damage. The supply of ZOUN is kind of plummeting right now. Here comes a revelation. Dream is finally sending his drop back home. He's setting up a huge surround on top of the army of ZOUN, which is kind of trapped over here. And Dream is still not really rich, but he can still produce a lot of armies. This is what is not gonna catch a lot of units. Recall gets issued by ZOUN, a safe bet, and this game is even once more.
Oh man, what a game. And by the way, this is for potentially the last game for Dream before he moves on to the finals, or it could be ZOUN's last stand and push himself to a game at number 4.
Workers are heading forward to try and stop some of the units from Dream to actually get some damage. These Raptors have kind of been key into this game so far. But right now the Robo Bay is gone, the Robotics Facility is gone as well, and well, the Robotics Facility has been remade, but there is no way these Robo units can be remade as long as a Robotics Bay doesn't hit the map. And right now ZOUN has to split his army, and he cannot afford to lose any of these Colossi.
Yeah, a lot of ZOUN's production buildings went down to those drops, so right now ZOUN's got to hold on, remake all those gateways, those production buildings. He's got a lot of he got decent banked, so he should start throwing down a bunch of buildings to start making those units. It looks like he's throwing down the robotic space, so he wants to go back into the Colossus production, which is pretty smart because Dream, I don't believe, yeah, he only has one Stargate with a reactor. He doesn't really have any Vikings out on the field, out in the map, so his ZOUN's Colossus should be able to do significant damage.
Yeah, it's definitely going to happen. These Colossi have been doing so much of the work this far. One of them has 28 kills, the other has 20. Provided some of those are SCVs, this is still quite a feat for ZOUN, who's right now a little bit exploding in supply. He's getting way too ahead of his opponent. Both players really do not have an economy right now. Like, ZOUN has been mining, actually ZOUN has mined out one of his 2 bases. He's been starting to mine back into the natural again, but Dream is in kind of the same scenario. He's mining just from 2 bases himself, and those 2 bases are not really full of minerals. So in this low economy scenario, it looks like ZOUN is kind of thriving. And once some more disruptors can get more value over time for ZOUN, Dream can really be in a bad spot. Another drop has been set up by the Terran player over here on the left side of the map. ZOUN is about to hit on the other. He's probably just waiting for these disruptors to be out to deal some damage. A huge revelation being dropped by the Oracle. Gonna catch the whole army of Dream over here. And it looks like the Terran player is about to merge his 2 different armies. This drop looks like it's not going to deal too much damage. And ZOUN looks like he has quite a powerful army right now.
Now the thing that Dream does have going for him is that his army is plus 3/3, so he does have a 2 upgrade advantage over ZOUN. However, ZOUN, his army is a bit better in terms of quality. And here we go. Looks like they're gonna go ahead and potentially end this game here with this last fight.
Stalkers are blinking forward on top of all of the Marines. Another good disruptive shot is gonna hit so much of that Bio army. These Colossi are still dealing so much damage, getting so many kills. Archons getting ahead and getting the tankiness, getting the AoE damage. And the army of ZOUN just looks too much better than the one of Dream right now. Dream has a lot of Marauders, but what can they do? Of course they can kill Disruptors if they're being sent ahead so far. But Stalkers blinking forward. Archons just now dying, and Colossi dealing so much damage. 33 kills on one, 33 on the other. Nothing left standing for Dream. GG gets gold. And ZOUN takes his first game of the series.
Oh, man. That was beautiful play by both players, actually.
Yeah, such an entertaining game from start to finish.
So much back and forth. I love those types of games.
Yeah, it was really scrappy. Really scrappy. But in that low economy scenario you were talking about, it looks like ZOUN kind of thrived a little bit more upon, and Dream really struggled to keep up even with mules and stuff such as that. He only had 1 orbital command left for him, and ZOUN was just quicker to replace what he lost. So in the end, huge ups for ZOUN because he played such an incredible later stage of the game.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I think what kind of also led to the downfall of Dream was that he was kind of stuck on that tier 1-ish army. Like, Bao is good, generally good, but as the Protoss, you need, like, once a Protoss gets like Colossus, Disruptors, Archon, you need to upgrade your tier of units as well, right? You need to add Liberators or maybe some Ghosts or something in order to kind of bolster the infantry units that Dream already had. But he didn't. He just kind of stuck on that low tier units and try to abuse the mobility, but the defense of ZOUN was just spot on. He had his unit split up at the end to protect his, I guess, his kind of his left side, or not left side, right side bases, and yeah, just ZOUN just had the better overall army throughout the whole game.
Yeah. Also, a lot of good game decisions from ZOUN. Like, he never actually tried to kill the planetary. He never actually tried to attack into that spot. He knew he had to take only very advantageous trade for him, and he never really played his hand too forward. He never really went all in. He never really did anything too dangerous. He played very safely at one stage, and that really paid off.
All right, Alright, we're gonna head into game number 4 on the map of Lightshade LE.
We're in the top left-hand corner, where the blue Protoss is spawning, just getting first map of the series. Is now ready to tie it up, and maybe, who knows, go for that reverse sweep. Waiting for Alpha X. It is ZOUN.
And spawning here at the bottom right is the red Terran player from Bravestar Gaming. Still one game away from clinching the series. Can he do it? Guys, send your energy to Dream.
That victory for ZOUN is more of a psychological one than anything else. Like, having lost those 2 games in the beginning of the series in such a devastating way really should put you, like, a lot of pressure on you. Like, you kind of feel defeated already. But ZOUN didn't feel like it. He really played his best in game number 3. Really put up one huge battle to his opponent, and in the end, like, he very much deserved to win.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in a scrappy game like that, in a quite longer game, also you gotta wonder, does that kind of mentally tires out Dream? I mean, of course, these Korean players play like many hours per day to prepare for these long macro tournaments, you know, but you still gotta wonder. I mean, what time is it right now in Korea? Like,
yeah, I think it's kind of late. I think it's like about 8 p.m.
Yeah. So it's like kind of later in the day, and maybe, you know, these kind of long scrappy games kind of mentally tires out Dream a little bit. Kind of gives the edge over to ZOUN, but we shall see. A little bit of a cat and mouse here with the Reaper and the Probe. Unfortunately, this map is quite large. Oh, actually, he does find it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say this map is quite large, so you gotta really explore around.
There's still one adept making his way through the map, so. So the Reaper needs to stay back home to deal with the adept, and ZOUN is still gonna get some good amounts of scouting information. Twilight Council and Robo again from ZOUN. I'm thinking more about that Dark Shrine play he tried to do in game number 2 than anything else. So.
I gotta say, Into the New, a bit more chatty today. I like it.
Yeah. Translating is a banter between the players for us.
Oh, that stock was just a tad bit late there.
Yeah, okay, this island is still not doing too much, but the Reaper is in the main, and he's gonna get a full scouting. He's gonna see the Twilight Council researching, knows this is not a Dark Shrine play, this is going to be Blink in the end. Oh, Reaper is still regenerating energy, still being obnoxious over here. Oh, the block from ZOUN with a Robobay as well, which is still going to be scouted by Dream, but that's a very common play from ZOUN, so it really isn't too afraid of being recognized.
Alright, we're gonna go ahead and see how ZOUN deals with this 2 Widowmine drop. Now, the last time he got Widowmine drop, I think it was in the second game or so, lost 17 probes.
Yep. Oh, Stalkers are going into the main. No way this happens again. Okay, alright. He moves out right at the right moment right now in the main though. Oh no, oh my god. This was looking so similar to the other game. So similar. In the end, Dream is going to lose the Medivac. Widowmines are just being cleared. But one has been cleared, the other is gonna get one probe probably. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, just gonna be cleared. Wait, didn't those Stalker shots didn't damage the mine? How is that possible?
Well,
Alright.
yeah, I hit it to like half-life or so.
Yeah, then there was another volley of shots which didn't deal damage.
Oh
to
yeah. It burrowed like.
Yeah, that's something that shouldn't happen, but yeah, of course. Alright, Blizzard. There's charge and external thermal lens for ZOUN. Dream is not really speed running production right now as he did in game number 1. So I don't really feel like he's gonna have too many units to attack before the key upgrades of ZOUN are done. But maybe we'll decide to cut some corners, start moving out a little bit earlier. There's a third command center already been done by Dream, and he's switching production right now. He's content with just 2 tanks right now. So yeah, he's gonna start those key upgrades, Steam Pack and Combat Shields.
Alright, gonna go ahead and...
That's a pretty big for ZOUN, to be honest. Like, he stopped his command center from landing in the third, so no mule's gonna be used there. That's good.
Yeah, anytime you can kind of delay the expansion of your opponent, always a good thing. No matter how short or how long it is, always a plus.
Yeah, it's gonna happen again. Alright.
Oh man.
It has to move out. Like, that's probably the best decision. That's a bunch of Terran units just about to head down at this third to stop these Stalkers from dealing too much damage. Stalkers are still trying to snipe down some amount of Marines. Gonna get a couple here and there before this tank starts shooting everything down. And there's a Raven in the bottom left-hand corner, well hidden, ready to drop down an auto turret and maybe get a couple probes down before ZOUN can really get up to speed with his economy. But it really doesn't look like he's gonna care too much about it. He's moving out, which is interesting to the least. Oh, that's gonna be huge. Hiding in the side blockers, Stalkers and Colossi are like getting in position. Warp Prism on the high ground. Gonna warp in so many Zealots. Getting this around on top of the army of Dream. That's a disaster for the Terran player. Meanwhile, Raven gonna drop that auto turret, but in a pace in which there is a shield battery. Only 3 probes are gonna fall. Meanwhile, ZOUN gonna charge into the natural of Dream. Is gonna lose a bunch of Zealots, but so many SCVs have been falling down as well. This command center is in real danger of falling down right now. Stalkers are getting ahead to get that kill. It looks like it's going to be repaired, but 12 SCVs gone, and ZOUN is still well entrenched in this third base location with a Warp Prism, getting even more Zealots into the action. There are 2 tanks, there are 2 Widow Mines, but the bio army of Dream is really not that strong.
Yeah, I mean, if I was Dream, I'd probably just ditch this third base area. I'd probably expand to like towards the 3 o'clock position, but he's gonna go ahead and try to reestablish that once again. But here it comes down. Oh, thinks twice about it. There are a lot of Widow Mines and tanks, so he's gonna be careful not to just throw away his army.
Looks like the Observer is gonna be finally cleared. ZOUN is getting a 4th base meanwhile back home, as well as the Templar Archives. So Arkenstein for ZOUN, and Dream has bought himself quite a lot of time. This Warp Prism is not doing anything too great. Of course, it makes that Raven a little bit waste these interference matrix, which will not go down on top of the Colossi, but there are missile turrets starting here at the third. Another huge anti-armor missile goes on top of the whole army of ZOUN. That's a lot of Cheetah dust, my friend, and this is not an army that can really clash with the one of Dream. Colossi are keeping everything at bay, keeping these missile turrets from being done for a little bit longer, but I don't really see any way Dream can break forward. Marauders are getting ahead themselves Meanwhile, Widowmines are in the bases of ZOUN, dealing damage. Colossi are still getting kill upon kill. 9 on one, 13 on the other, but the tanks are slowly chipping the army of ZOUN as well. Zealot is gonna fall, one of the Archon is gonna be taken to half shields, and finally, I'd say ZOUN starts off some of his upgrades, losing 13 probes back home. These Widowmines have yet to be cleared. Finally, one in the third dies.
Yeah, but there's still the second one at the natural.
Yeah, there's actually two more. There's one in the main and one in the natural. 16 probes. The one in the main, I think ZOUN has no idea there's a Widowmine there. Oh. 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 Yeah. 3 more probes down. ZOUN needs to back off. His worker count has been absolutely destroyed by Dream, who's getting to Shockwave EMP. And you know what? After getting so many SCVs, this was looking like a very good spot for ZOUN, but right now, like losing 20 probes, of course it's a little bit of a later stage, but has been buying so much time for Dream. Once Shockwave EMP is done, it's gonna be so much harder for ZOUN to actually keep his units alive.
Oh, does he see it? The Warperman does not see the Doom drop coming here at the north base, but oh, these Chargelat though. These Chargelat does scout it. Is he looking at the map? I don't think he caught it. Oh boy.
Is he going for a base trade?
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah, the Doom drop is gonna happen. He's gonna deal so much damage. Recall is not going to be used, not yet at least. ZOUN is splitting his army in two. He's clashing on one side as a Disruption Nova, which is not gonna deal any damage whatsoever. Meanwhile, the Doom drop is still going on. The army of ZOUN is desperately trying to get back home. Colossi get on the high ground, trying to deal with this. But these Colossi are getting way too ahead on themselves. One actually dies almost instantly. The other gets destroyed by these Marauders. The key units of ZOUN are falling, and Dream is not losing too much to do that. Oh, actually, over here, getting this spur would be huge. Meanwhile, 10 SCVs, even more, are actually being killed by a bunch of Zealots running here into the natural. Meanwhile, at the fourth base of ZOUN, a huge clash is happening. Disruption Nova is gonna get a bunch of units. Another Disruption Nova is gonna whip, the other is gonna whip as well. And ZOUN not eating right, but still ahead in supplies, still ahead in workers. It's gonna lose this base, but that's a very ready now by your army. Stalkers blinking forward, getting kill upon kill. The ghosts are not really doing too much, besides his EMP already having been used. This is not a huge shield army right now. Another anti-armor missile goes on top of everything. Both players losing so much once more, and we're witnessing another very scrappy game.
Yeah, once again. Someone in the chat mentioned that ZOUN kind of falls apart when he needs to multitask. I mean, last game didn't show that, but maybe this time around. Although I would say he is quite ahead. He's quite ahead in the terms of the economy, as 68 workers to 51. He's up in. He's relatively, even in his army supply. The thing I'm afraid of is that his upgrades are pretty low for what is a pretty heavy gateway infantry gateway army there.
Oh, huge Disruption Nova is gonna go on a bunch of Marauders. The army of Dream is not really keeping up, to be honest, with ZOUN. Finally, one of the Disruptors falls, but it looks like ZOUN has been getting even more damage. He's gonna get one of the bases. Right now, Dream is teaming so much forward. His Disruption Nova can deal so much damage. This one is not gonna deal too much. How many Disruptors have died this game? 3? All of 3 have died right now, right? That's not great.
Yeah. It's kind of like, carriers. You definitely want to have a good couple amount of carriers or a good amount of disruptors. You don't want to have like 2 or 3 because those the Dream can pretty much kind of focus fire on each of these disruptors while shooting. So if you can shoot multiple of them, it makes it much harder for Dream to micro against.
Another multi-prong attack from Dream, eating at the fourth and the main at the same time. A big Doom drop is gonna go down in the main, but that's a recall coming from ZOUN. Meanwhile, the fourth base of ZOUN is gonna be completely cleared, and this other expansion will need to be cancelled. That's the fifth that's still standing up just outside of the natural, of course. But Dream is still hitting on 2 different sides, hitting at the third right now. There's not really too much to defend over here. Disruptors are making their way through. So many balance are dying one after the other, but probes are still up and standing. Disruptors are in danger right now, being very much destroyed by this bio army. 16 probes have been falling. Finally, a Colossus and Stalkers are getting into action. Meanwhile, so many probes have been dying. Widowmines getting 17 of them behind the third base, and Dream is still eating on two different sides. The third base of ZOUN is going to be killed. More probes are falling, and ZOUN really struggling to keep up with the aggression Dream is putting in this late game scenario. Dream still split in two, but ZOUN cannot hold any of these two sides. Here, the robotics facility is in real danger. ZOUN drops a disruption on some of his own units, and the others he's pulling off are not really hitting the army of Dream whatsoever.
Oh man, the multitasking of Dream is just becoming overwhelming for ZOUN. I think Dream is like microing like 3 sets of army, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, indeed, Dream really playing like a madman right now, splitting his army in 3, eating at 3 different spots at a single time, and ZOUN, have to be honest here, really struggling to keep up with the multi-pronged aggression from Dream.
Yeah, Catharsis says prime example right here. Exactly. Dream is so good with his multitasking, and ZOUN looks like he is possibly gonna go there. Oh man, even getting a cancel on that Nexus, or not even a cancel, I think it's just a kill.
Yeah, it was just a kill.
Oh
and,
man.
In the natural, still dealing some damage, still getting a lot of probes. Look at the 47 probes, 56. The army of ZOUN has not really been growing this whole time either.
Yeah, pretty much Dream has his side, this half of the map, and ZOUN is just struggling to get like one single base up here at the north side.
Yeah, it went down from 5 bases to constantly having only 3, and these probes are just dying one after the other. Those 3 bases he has, one has been completely mined out, the other has just 1 probe mining in it, and the other is fully saturated, yes. But Dream is about to hit again at the attempt of expanding in the 4th. There's a ZOUN drop going into the main, and the other part of the army of Dream is ready to hit in the natural again. 3-pronged attack from Dream. The main is going to be cleared, it looks like. Yeah, Zealots are not gonna cut it over there. Disruption Novas are gonna hit over here, but they're still not gonna clear completely the army of Dream. We're still gonna get ahead and maybe get a kill on these robot. Disruptors are making their way here again. Even a shield battery overcharge get used by ZOUN at the natural. Meanwhile, the main has yet to be cleared, and Dream is still hitting at this attempt of expanding in the 4th. So many probes are dying over here. Dream hitting in so many different spots at the right time. ZOUN, desperation move over here, moving out with his Colossi, moving out with his focus, trying to stop Dream on his stats. But you know what? Dream forces him to recall once more. And even if this army is so bruised for Dream, it's so in red and orange health, ZOUN doesn't really have anything to keep up with his opponent.
Yeah, I mean, this is looking pretty dire for our blue Protoss. He needs a Hail Mary. He needs like a couple of miracles, not just one, a couple of miracles, just to get back into this game. I mean, Dream with an overall supply lead of almost 80, and it's a matter of time, I think. If Dream can just get one last surround, it looks like it, because oh, this is a quite open spot, an open area.
Oh, that's a good Disruption Nova being hit by ZOUN. Another good, that's what he needs. He needs some miraculous Disruption Nova, but these Colossi are right now in real danger. No more Novas can be used. The army of Dream is so bruised, but ZOUN cannot really keep up. He gets so many kills, so much damage, but it starts breaking because this wasn't enough. Dream gets the series. 3-1 victory for the Terran player.